Gotta love the joys of Grandma's cooking. After all, no one else does it like her, right? And that probably would seem to want to provoke some people to steal the recipe. I'm sensing a plot here. What is up, everybody? Metatron URL here. Welcome back to my show. This is my coverage of young Sheldon, and this is episode 7. A Brisket, Voodoo, and Cannonball Run. Odd combination. So, Meemaw's famous brisket recipe. Mini chairs shit, everybody wants to copy it, but no one can do it quite like her. This gives enough of an incentive to George to constantly hound her for the recipe, and too much of George's frustration is Meemaw will not give it. So, that is what the whole plot of this episode's about. Really? But it's comical. Trust me, it sounds lame, but it's comical. So, George, of course, is constantly hounding Connie, aka Meemaw, for the constant recipe of her brisket. She would not give it to him whatsoever. He's begged and pleaded, threatened, whatnot, and she still won't give it up to him. Well, she finally decides, well, okay, hand me a piece of paper, I'll write it down. So she goes and writes it down, hands it to George. This is for your eyes only. He reads it. Keep dreaming, Tubby. Ouch. Meanwhile, with the burn. Ugh. George ain't gonna recover from that one. Even Mary snickers at this whole thing. It's pretty bad when your wife is snickering about your doom failure. I mean, what are you gonna do, George? Sorry. So, naturally, of course, this leads to Mary and George having it out. They actually get into a little bit of a tiff over this. And my favorite scene in the episode, of course, involves our girl Missy. Everybody knows that I'm a fan of her, and knows that the little girl just tickles the crap out of me. She is eavesdropping on George and Mary's fight. So naturally, she gets busted, but before she can get busted, she goes and knocks on Georgie's door. Now, Georgie, not knowing what's going on, comes out of his bedroom. Well, about that time, Mary comes out and thinks Georgie is eavesdropping on George and Mary's fight. Oh, poor Georgie. Missy tricked him into taking the fall for him. This little girl is devious. I mean, bravo. Bravo. My God. Poor Georgie gets grounded, so he can't go to the picnic with the family. And for some reason, Missy gets the idea and puts the idea in both eventually Georgie, and Sheldon's head that this fight may cause Mary and George to actually get a divorce or separate or whatever. Over a brisket recipe? Really? Well, in the midst of George and Georgie staying home from the picnic, Missy, Sheldon, Mary, and Meemaw go to the picnic. Well, George decides to do, little black ops reconnaissance. Yeah, he fails miserably, does not find the recipe. And how he's discovered is the fact that Meemaw is apparently OCD. See where Sheldon gets it from. Runs in the family because apparently she takes this as a challenge. Well, George and Mary, of course, are still fighting over this. Ironically. And it's comical, to say the least. Well, we think that Meemaw actually does come in, cave in, give George the recipe. Maybe. Does she? Well, George goes on a nice little adventure to get the supplies. And I love the fact that she writes it down to such a detail. Apparently, it's all whenever the cow was born and when it was raised on and what farm it was raised on and what kind of grass it ate. Had to get a certain kind of rub and had to rub it a certain way that would make Mary jealous and just and all it was for was to pull a prank on George and to get some coffee apparently from New Orleans because apparently they have some great chestnut roasted coffee over there. Yeah, why? I mean, if it's that good, why not? But hey. But George figures this out, and he's not happy. So he goes in there to tear a new one for Meemaw. Well, Meemaw busts him out about trying to steal the recipe. He thinks Georgie ratted him out, and Georgie's like, I didn't say anything. I was cool. And I mean, it goes back and forth. And Missy sent back loving all this. I mean, our girl, she's just applauding it all like it's just some big, nice little family fun time. Well, it's gotten Georgie to the point where he's actually starting to get a little nervous about the whole family separation, mom and dad getting a divorce kind of thing. Well, in the midst of all this, they go to Sheldon and they all have a nice little family powwow trying to figure out how to sort this out and how to help out dad get the recipe. Well, for some reason, Sheldon's memory kicks into overdrive and he remembers word for word everything about the recipe. Oh, it's a little freaky. Have a memory like that, Sheldon? That's gonna come back to bite you. That's just not natural. That's gonna come back to bite you. Well, he actually does call a family meeting. Connie's there, George is there, Mary's there, the kids are all there. He then in turn, Sheldon just turns around and just puts it all out there. Everything he knows. Puts it all, the whole recipe just out there. Starts slowly revealing it, which to much of Meemaw's dismay, he actually does remember everything. Just weird. Well, finally she comes out with it, and the reason why she's so hard on George. He, for the longest time, was not good enough for Mary in Meemaw's eyes. Which, apparently George is cool with the whole concept, because apparently with him being a father and having a little girl, he can understand if his daughter brought home someone like him, he'd be a little worried too. Wow, isn't that nice? So they turn around and hash it out and hug it, and it's all beautiful and sweet, and the family learns just a happy little lesson. And I love what the older Sheldon says in the voiceover. And I quote, "Don't let the hug fool you. When she went home, he made me write down or he made me give him the recipe." Apparently George got the recipe after all. But while he's trying it out, he utters the words, "hot damn." And it makes Sheldon remember when he's a baby and his mom and dad in the act of coitus. Told you that memory was going to come back and bite you. Alright. Up next for Young Sheldon, we're going to have episode 8, and the title is Cape Canaveral, Schrodinger's Cat, and Cindy Lauper's Hair. Cape Canaveral, I already know what that's all about because apparently they're going to go on a road trip and take Sheldon with them. Which, once again, it's going to be the Cooper boys, and they're all going to go on this nice little road trip. This is going to be interesting. Schrodinger's Cat, I don't know what that's about. All I know is that it was mentioned in Big Bang Theory between Leonard and Penny going on a date. Still have no idea how that incorporates in their date, but eh. And Cindy Lauper's Hair, I'm guessing that we're going to see Sheldon maybe actually do some romance, or I'm guessing Georgie. Georgie's a little bit more of the romantic type. But alright, that's going to do it right for me. Question for all y'all. When Meemaw was psyching out George, what was your favorite way to, or what was your favorite prank? Was it the note that just simply said, "Keep dreaming, Tubby"? Or was it the fact that she sent him on a nice little voyage? Let me know up here. That's going to do a wrap for me. I'm Metatron Euro, and you're watching Nephilim Entertainment. Give me a big thumbs up down below. Be sure to post a comment and subscribe for more content. And stay tuned to the end of the video for more content. But to all you daydreamers and creators out there, keep your heads in the clouds. Peace.